Plaintiff Margret Dunn-Harris claims the defendant is a real estate scam artist who never intended to let her rent a house. She's suing for $3,442 for her deposit and related damages. Defendant Terrence Chatman claims the plaintiff didn't follow through with the rental process. He owes her nothing.
The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. It's case number 8 on the docket, Dunn-Harris versus Chatman.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge.
Let me see here. The plaintiff, Ms. Dunn-Harris,
Correct.
you are suing the defendant, Mr. Chatman, in the amount of $3,442 for unreturned security deposit and damages. Why don't you tell me what's going on here?
Okay, Judge. Well, I have a daughter who has what's called osteogenesis imperfecta type 4. Many people know that as the brittle bone disease.
Ooh, okay.
She currently lives in New Jersey. Now, not only does she have the brittle bone disease, but she's also a little person.
Yes.
So she uses a wheelchair, and in the past 4.5 years, has learned how to walk on a walker. But she also has severe respiratory issues. So they had a conference with us letting us know that the respiratory issues are continually deteriorating. And because of that, she said, I want to come back home. I immediately spoke to my current landlord and told her what was going on. She understood, so I went out and I started looking for homes. One day I found what I knew was going to be like a great home, called the number, met with this awesome gentleman who walked me through the home. The home had all the criteria that I needed, everything on one floor. We needed the open spaces because with the brittle bone disease, any bumping up in anything can cause her to break. He was working on the home, told us what things were needing to be done, but he said, if you want this home, I can have it ready for you on December the 28th. We were ecstatic. We asked questions about certain parts. He said there was a basement, and he went on into telling us all the things that were needing to be done with the basement, and that he didn't want to show it to us at that time. But we asked about storage because we knew we were going to need that, you know, when we moved in. He sent me the app in order to be able to do the application fee, paid it immediately, filled in the application. He sent me the money and told me that I needed to pay an additional $600.
What for?
Because of my credit, he said.
Okay.
And so immediately, I paid the $1,300 plus the $600.
The $1,300 was the security deposit?
Correct, which I did immediately when he said that I needed to do that.
It wasn't
We
immediate.
received the lease and completed the lease. We are all ready to move. He says you're going to be able to move in on the 28th. When we completed the lease, he gave us told us to pay the 1 month's rent, but we told him by me paying the extra money for the security deposit, I would have it on the 30th. So that would make the house available to us on the 30th. My husband went by the house on the 28th to look at the house.
Yes.
And he informed my husband that there was going to be an additional $250 that we were going to have to pay. Long story short, I text him because we text everything, so I have every text that we have.
Yeah.
And he said, yes, $250 will be an additional fee once the basement is ready when you move in. But you can have the upstairs as is.
That's not how.
This is a picture of my daughter who has this is the picture of the house.
Oh, wow.
Also give him the picture of the payment that was made.
Late.
Okay. And
payment.
excuse me, sir, late.
Okay.
And the picture of the
deposit
lease,
payment.
which he was supposed to give us and never did.
What I understand so far is they indicated interest in the house. You walked through it with them. You saw you apparently saw the house and liked it. The only thing you didn't see yet was the basement.
Correct.
So there was some dispute about that. But she, in fact, did pay the money for the security deposit.
Right.
1 week late.
She did.
Sir,
She paid
listen.
it. You still had it before it was time to move in.
It's supposed
It
to be
was
When
not
did you
1
pay
week
it?
late. The date is on that receipt that you have.
December 12th, 2018. Is that what you're talking?
That's
Right.
that was the date that it was done. I saw the house on December the 8th. We applied for it on December the 9th and paid that on the 12th.
All right.
How is that a week late,
You
sir?
have it?
Okay.
All that?
It's right there.
Okay, you don't speak to each other. Okay, so here it is. So that
Right.
she did do that. She's telling the truth there. Now, what do you have to say?
Okay, typically from my business, I do a walkthrough, and I tell you the amount. What I want from them is no evictions, no bankruptcies or liens.
Okay.
That's what I want. If you have that, it won't disqualify you, but it's going to affect your deposit. Just bad credit
We have
in general.
never had
So-
an eviction.
So when I check the credit and I see there was an eviction or bankruptcy, I'm like, okay, this is going to be a high-risk tenant. She tells me the story about her daughter. I have empathy for that. So I listen, even though my business judgment tells me not to.
She did put down the security deposit. She did give you the $600, right?
No, she didn't. I told her the deposit's going to be
She paid
$1,975.
$1,975.
She did.
And I'd already
Okay,
paid-
stop both talking.
Right. You asked me.
$1,975. She paid it. So
She
that
did, but it was late.
It was
You have
not.
once you get approved, you have 48 hours. You pay the deposit. Once the deposit is paid, you have 30 days to move in. To move in, you have to set a move-in day, do a walkthrough, and pay your first month. That's how it works. So she pays the deposit. I get back to work. We're working. The husband shows up. The contractors call me and said, "There's some strange guy peeping through windows and peeping around corners, looking at us." And I'm saying, I'm not sure who that is. So I go to the house and it's him. He's like, I just want to look around and see things.
Yeah.
Okay, fine, fair enough. You can do that. So she calls me maybe a week later, and she wants to come see the house. So she comes to the house. It's her, it's the husband, it's two other adults, including the daughter, 2 dogs, and 2 teenagers. So she tells me the 2 teenagers aren't going to live in the house. The teenagers are picking rooms out.
The teenagers are not picking rooms out.
I'm
Okay,
watching
all right.
them. I'm watching them. So I say to her, if you're going on the lease, I need to know the names of the people on the lease.
Okay, they're not going on the lease.
No,
But
sir.
they're picking
not gonna
rooms
live
out,
there.
though.
No, sir.
So I'm like, I don't know who's living in the house. Are the dogs living in the house? Are the adults living in the house? Because there's a pet deposit. There was no pet deposit paid.
So here's what I got so far. She is put down $1,975 for a case in which she and her daughter obviously need this place to stay.
Yes.
They put money up. They're putting up the security deposit.
Mm-hmm.
They're putting up the fee for whatever investigation was necessary.
Correct.
And they're ready to pay the rent as soon as
We
the
can do the
lease
walk.
gets formally signed. You
That-
brought up another issue, as I understand it, about suddenly $250 for the basement.
If you pick up of the 100 people that apply for that house, you pick 2 and call them and ask them. Every one of them knows that the basement was additional $250.
Okay, I'd
And
now
so-
like to hear from the plaintiff's witness. And what is your name, sir?
Chris Jackson.
Chris, what do you know about this?
Well, Your Honor, I was asked to come in and check this guy out and see what he may have going on, and so I did that. I went in undercover to be a potential tenant back in December, and when I went in, he gave me the same spiel that he gave them, that I could move in the home to put a deposit down.
The same house?
The exact same house, Your Honor.
Really?
I have emails, everything. In February of this year, he already had tenants in the house. And so he tried to give me the same exact house after tenants are living in the house. He emailed me the application on the house,
You're a liar.
everything.
Do we have any emails on this?
I submitted him to the court.
Okay.
But this guy's a criminal. He has
Really?
a history of forgery. He has a history of receiving stolen property, everything. Can you pass this to the young man?
Yeah, I'd
But I-
like to see it.
I can't believe
Why
Ryan
didn't
is-
you move in right away?
Because on the 28th, when my husband did go to the house, because remember we're supposed to be moving on the 30th,
Yep.
he immediately responded back to me, you're welcome to have just the upstairs of the home. I text back to him, if we have the upstairs of the home, what will we do for storage? He said, you can use a little part under our carport. I text him back, sir, show this to the judge. I text him back a picture that said, it will not be enough room because this is the amount of storage that we have where we
Okay.
currently live. It was after that, sir,
You had
that I
already seen the
received
house,
a
though.
text message that you have that
You already
said
saw the house.
the immediate return of your money will be instigated within 10 business days according to the bank guidelines. That was a total shock to us. We didn't
Really?
understand where that came from.
All right.
That was not a part of the arrangement.
Did you do a
Okay,
walkthrough?
here's
Did you
quiet.
pay your first month?
You know
Pay
what?
the money?
You're going to lose this case
I
just on the way you're behaving.
My apologies.
Do you still want to live in that place?
Someone is living in the house already.
So that isn't even possible
That's
anymore.
not possible.
And it's up for sale,
That-
Your Honor.
That being the case, this becomes very simple.
Yes.
Because you didn't want them even to live in the place because you were making it very difficult. They simply want their money back. You're suing just to get your money back?
And for the damages, sir.
And-
This is my daughter.
Yes.
This is her picking out her room.
Tell me again what the damages
That's
are.
the only
It's
reason I gave
Tell
you
me
the house.
again what the damages are.
$3,000 altogether, $442, and I cannot believe that
And
this
those
person can
damages
even say
include
that
what?
nothing was ever
Please
late.
answer my question.
Because
What
we
do
lost.
What do the
We
damages
lost
include?
3 homes
What
because
did-
every time he said he was going to give me back the money.
I know this is I know this is difficult.
This is
Please
crazy.
let me know what the damages are.
Threatened me.
Relax. This
And
is the judge
if you
on.
want
wanted
to, if
to
you
come
want to
in.
talk for her because it's difficult for her to talk about this.
Yes.
Tell me. I want to know
He came to my
what
house
the
with his
specific damages are. Please
front of my
stop.
daughter.
I don't care what you have to say right now. Tell me what.
She's lost several properties that she was putting deposits. Not
What about
deposits,
flying her
but-
daughter down?
Well, she had to pay
drove.
somebody to bring her daughter
Her
down to look at the
caretaker.
home.
Yes.
She had to pay somebody to
Caretaker.
do that.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
And the money that I paid this gentleman for doing the research.
I find for the plaintiff $3,442.
That's a Jekyll and Hyde. Like this lady fabricated the truth from the get-go. I'm a little disturbed they bought it.
No one can say that there were any lies that took place. If anything, he's the one. And I'm just thankful for the opportunity that somebody understood how important this case was.
He is running a scam, so I just hope that all the other families that he scammed will see this and they will come forward because it is a criminal offense and he could be charged with theft by deception.
Hey YouTube, check out my new show, Judge Jerry. Now for sneak preview and behind the scenes footage, subscribe to my channel now.